Have a look at the people in charge. The politicians, the CEOs, the world leaders, and think, how did they even get there? It feels like the most incompetent, short-sighted, and sometimes downright foolish people are the ones running the show. It's frustrating. It's confusing, and it makes you question everything. But what if it's not an accident? What if the traits we perceive as stupidity are actually a twisted kind of genius when it comes to acquiring and holding on to power? Today, we're diving into the cold, hard logic of Niccolo Machiavelli to answer a disturbing question. Why does incompetence so often look like power? We'll discover that what looks like stupidity might just be a different game entirely, a game where morality is a weakness and perception is everything. To understand this, we have to go back to 16th century Florence and one of history's most misunderstood thinkers, Niccolo Machiavelli. His most famous work, The Prince, wasn't a guide for being a good person. It was a manual for being an effective ruler. Machiavelli made a crucial distinction. He talked about virtue. Now, this doesn't mean virtue in the moral sense. For Machiavelli, virtue was about prowess, skill, and the ability to shape your own destiny. It's the strength and cunning needed to navigate fortuna, the unpredictable chaos of luck and circumstance. A leader with high moral virtue but low virtue would be crushed. A leader with high virtue could survive anything. Machiavelli famously argued that for a prince, it is much safer to be feared than loved. Why? Because love is fickle, but fear is reliable. He believed the leader must be willing to act immorally, to lie, to betray, to be cruel if it meant preserving the state. So, when we see a leader making a stupid or cruel decision, we're judging them by our moral rule book. But they aren't playing by those rules. They're playing by Machiavelli's. Their goal isn't to be good, it's to win. Let's break down how this plays out in the real world. What we call stupidity is often a calculated strategy. First, simplification. Complex problems don't win elections. Simple, emotional slogans do. Build a wall, drain the swamp. These aren't policy proposals. They are powerful symbols. A leader who reduces a nuanced issue to a simple narrative isn't being dumb. They are being strategically effective and mobilizing a base. They trade accuracy for impact. Second, distraction. When a scandal breaks or a policy fails, often a bigger, louder, more outrageous story dominates the news cycle. This isn't always a coincidence. Creating chaos and controlling the narrative is a classic Machiavellian tactic. By keeping everyone off balance and focused on the latest drama, a leader can avoid accountability for their actual failures. It looks like chaotic incompetence, but it can be a highly effective smokescreen. Third, the scapegoat. A truly Machiavellian leader never takes the blame. When things go wrong, it's always the fault of the deep state, the fake news, or a loyal subordinate who is promptly fired. This preserves the leader's image to their supporters. They can do no wrong. This isn't a lack of it's a deliberate strategy to deflect criticism and maintain power. But it's not just the leader's fault. The problem is also the system that selects them. Our modern world, with its 24-hour news cycles and social media algorithms, rewards the exact traits Machiavelli described. What gets attention? Outrage, conflict, simplicity, nuanced and thoughtful debate are boring. They don't go viral. So, the system naturally promotes individuals who are loud, confrontational, and simplistic. It filters for those who are best at performing power, not necessarily those who are best at wielding it wisely. We end up in a situation where the skills needed to get power are different from the skills needed to use it effectively. The charismatic showman wins the election, but has no idea how to govern. The corporate climber becomes CEO, but destroys the culture. They were perfect for the game of acquisition, but disastrous for the job of management. We aren't selecting for competence. We're selecting for a very specific and often dangerous type of performance. So, we're left with a grim picture. The world appears to be run by fools because the path to power rewards foolishness, or at least a brilliant imitation of it. Does this mean we should just give up? Absolutely not. Understanding the game is the first step to changing it. When you see a leader acting stupidly, ask yourself, is this genuine incompetence, or is it a strategic move? Who benefits from this chaos? What are they distracting me from? By seeing through the performance, we stop being pawns. We become more critical consumers of information. We start valuing substance over style, and long-term solutions over short-term outrage. We can demand more from our leaders and from the systems that create them. The paradox of power is that it often goes to those least fit to hold it. But that doesn't mean we have to accept it. By understanding the rules of this dark game, we can begin to rewrite them. What do you think? Is it possible to be both a good person and a successful leader? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to explore more dark psychology, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. Thanks for watching.